Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So Hare Krishna, in the 11th canto, 11th chapter, till 28th sloka we finished. So we'll continue from 9th sloka onwards. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Krupalurakrutadroha Titikshu Sarvadehinam Satyasaro Navadyatma Samasarvopakarakaha Kamair Ahata Dhirdanto Mrudu Suchira Kinchinaha Aniho Mita Bhukshantaha Stiro Macharano Munihi Apramatto Gabiratma Drutiman Jitashangunaha Amani Manada Kalyo Maitra Karunika Kavihi Agnayevam Gunan Doshan Agnayevam Gunan Doshan Mayadishtana Piswakan Dharman Santyajaya Sarvan Mam Bhajeta Sacha Sattamaha Sacha Sattamaha. Make the 2 into cha. Yes. Correct that. 2 into cha. Ramakrishna Rao, translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisance. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Uddhava, a saintly person is merciful and never injures others. Even if others are aggressive, he is tolerant and forgiving toward all living entities. His strength and meaning in life comes from the truth itself. He is free from all envy and jealousy, and his mind is equal in material happiness and distress. Thus he dedicates his time to working for the welfare of all others. His intelligence is never bewildered by material desires, and he has controlled his senses. His behavior is always pleasing, never harsh, and always exemplary, and he is free from possessiveness. He never endeavors in ordinary, worldly activities, and he strictly controls his eating. He therefore always remains peaceful and steady. A saintly person is thoughtful and accepts me as his only shelter. Such a person is very cautious in the execution of his duties and is never subject to superficial transformations because he is steady and noble, even in a distressing situation. He has conquered over the six material uh, he has conquered over the six material qualities, namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. He is free from all desire for prestige and offers honor to others. He is expert in reviving the Krishna consciousness of others and therefore never cheats anyone. Rather, he is a well wishing friend to all, being most merciful. Such a saintly person must be considered the most learned of men. He perfectly understands that the ordinary religious duties prescribed by me in various Vedic scriptures possesses favorable qualities that purify the performer, and he knows that neglect of such duties constitutes a discrepancy in one's life. Having taken complete shelter at my lotus feet, however, a saintly person ultimately renounces such ordinary religious duties and worships me alone. He is thus considered to be the best among all living entities.
Okay. Sadha Atha. So previously, what questions are asked? What questions are asked by the Uddhava? What are the questions Uddhava is asking? According to your opinion, tell me who is Sadhu? Yes. So, my dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, what type of person do you consider to be a true devotee? This is the point. So, whom Krishna considered as devotee? We should see in that lines. Answer also should be in that line. And also, Bhakti hi tvai upayijyate kidrushi. Next, and what type of devotional service is approved by great devotees as worthy of being offered to your Lordship? That means what kind of bhakti is recommended. First of all, who is sadhu according to your opinion? And so bhakti, who is approving the bhakti? Krishna is approving the bhakti or the devotees? Huh? Krishna is approving the bhakti. And what you are approving then? Devotees are approving the bhakti. And Krishna is approving devotees. Okay. So these two things we want. We want to know what kind of bhakti is approved by, first of all, who are sadhus according to your opinion, and those sadhus, what kind of bhakti they approved. So these two things we have to discuss. You should always remember this. Okay. Karmis karma arpanam. This segment is connecting to, this is what? This is Here what? What is this? Adu. This is Sadhu Sangha. We will be discussing the right wing only. Why? It's already over. Ananya Bhakti, we started discussing Ananya Bhakti. Yes. Now where we are? So what Uddhava is asking? What are the questions of Uddhava? Who is Sadhu? And what is which type of devotion is approved by them? Okay? You have to know these two. Who is Sadhu? Tell me. You tell me. Who is Sadhu? Apiche suduracharo bhajate mamananya bhak sadhureva samantavyah. That we should take. Durachari. Sudurachari. Should take or not? No. Huh? Why you have to know Sadhu? What is the advantage for the devotional life to knowing about Sadhu? Why you need to know? Huh? What is that? To surrender to Krishna. What is that? Surrendering means? No. What is the role of Sadhu? क्या बोल रहे हैं? Huh? Who is Sadhu? So why we have to know about sadhus, types of sadhus? Acha? What are those? One is special type and one is ordinary type sadhus. If you speak mic, then I will lose. I don't want to use so much energy to say again and again. This much also, if you don't learn, kya kare जीवन? What kind of sadhu you are actually? You don't have the responsibility of using mic also. Tell what you want to tell.
Just according to this chart, we discussed the two kind of sadhus. Sadhu means two type.
Mic.
Sadhu is two type. One is jnani and another one is bhakta. So that jnani type already we discussed. Now we are focusing only Ananya Bhakti. So if anyone want to do that Bhakti, then definitely he has to come to the contact with the sadhu. Sadhu means here devotee only. So when he comes to the contact with the bhakta, then only he can do the devotion. Otherwise, how he can do?
Acha, very good. That means Adav means sadhu sangha.
Yeah.
So you should know sadhu. That's why Uddhava is asking question for us. Is nice or not? His question is good. Then Krishna is going to answer. Then from that answer, you can also come to know who is the best sadhu. Then you associate them. Then you will get the Purna Shraddha and you will get the Ananya Bhakti. Why we not need to know the sadhu? Because you want to progress in your devotion. Without sadhu sangha, how you will start your bhakti? So what Krishna is saying now? So how many sadhus are there? And which sadhu is best among them? Sadhus can be categorized into many ways based upon sadhus can be categorized based upon their mental, based upon their consciousness, otherwise based upon their consciousness, their what? Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. Sadhus can be also categorized so you know Kanishta. Who is that Kanishta? Archa, yeah. Whoever is seeing the Lord in the only deities and not in other living entities is Kanishta. Based upon consciousness, you are saying. And Madhyama is Ishvara Tadadineshu Balisha Dishassu Krupa, sorry, my Prema Maitri Krupa Upeksha. So the one who is showing love to the Lord, friendly relationship with the devotees, mercy to ignorant people. So what is that? Upeksha, leaving, neglecting Dishassu, that means hatreding the Lord. So this is Uttama, who sees Krishna every living entity. 3 times. Based upon consciousness, you divide it. Sadhus can also be divided into 3 categories based on what? Based on अबा हो गया और कितना बार करेंगे? Practicing sadhana based upon their sadhana. Okay, there also Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. Who is Kanishta Sadhaka? Who is Kanishta Sadhaka? Who is Madhyama Sadhaka? Who is Uttama Sadhaka? You should answer this. So then we have to see according to the Krishna's opinion, who is Uttama Sadhu, who is Madhyama Sadhu, who is Kanishta Sadhu. That is the discussion. You have to select sadhus. Sadhus are considered as highest based upon consciousness. That means whoever is having the highest prema, they are considered as the highest sadhu. So sadhus are generally prapta bhagavad parshad dehaha, nirduta kashayaha, murchita kashaya. Like that 3 times. If these 3 are having the same prema, then whom you should associate? First preference goes for prapta bhagavad parshad dehaha. If he is not available, then nirduta kashayaha. If he is not available, then murchita kashaya. Who is the example for this? Prapta bhagavad parshad dehaha, Narada in this life. And next, nirduta kashaya, Sukadeva Goswami. Murchita kashaya, Narada Muni. So if these are broadly, you can categorize sadhus into 3, and if they have 3 are having the same prema, then prapta bhagavad parshad deha are are more preferred. But of course, these three are there, but sometimes others can have more prema. Example, Murchita Kashayaha. He might be having the more prema than Prapta Bhagavad Parshad Dehaha, who got the liberate, that means partial Sarira. So he might not be having the more prema. Then whom he should select? Whoever is having the more prema. So him only you should associate. That means ultimate the index for deciding the highness of the sadhutvam is what? Prema. Prema is also, the superiority of the prema is measured by two ways. What is that? Type of the prema and quantity of the prema. Someone's prema's highness can be decided based upon two factors. What are those? Type of the prema and quantity of the prema. Type is type. How to come to know type? Dasyam, Sakyam, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. This is a type. And also type is also can be decided based upon the Upasya. He is worshipped Dasyam, Sakyam, Vatsalya, Madhurya. Out of this, which is top? Madhurya. So these are the two type. These two things will decide the type, and quantity is Prema Ankuram. And also in the Prema there are various stages are there. Sneha, Snigdha, Bhava, so and so Mahabhava. Like that, 7 types of quantities, categories are there. Based upon the quantity of the prema, stages are defined. Even in the prema also. 7 stages are there in prema. Bhava, prema. So based upon the symptoms we can know. So in the Ujjwal Leela it is given all these stages of the prema. So how the symptoms are. So that's why the quantity of the, or otherwise the superiority of the prema is the decision maker of the sadhu. To decide the top sadhu. That is the superiority of the sadhu is decided based upon the superiority of their love. Okay. So if you come now, so sadhus, so further they are categorized based upon their sadhana also. What is Uttama Bhakti saying? Anyabhilashta sunyam. La shi ta sunyam. Gnana karmad janavrutam. Anukulyane Krishnanuselanam Bhaktiruttama. So tell me, if one wants to do Uttama Bhakti, first of all, identify where is the sadhana in this. Anuselanam is the sadhana. Sadhana is told by, about the sadhana, who is telling here? So Anuselanam, yes. Anuselanam means practice. What I said Anuselanam means yesterday. Huh? Anuselanam is how many times? चेष्टा रूपा भाव रूपा. एक दिन सारा दिन नया, 3 साल के बाद भी ऐसे ही बस. चेष्टा रूपा भाव रूपा. चेष्टा रूपा is once again 2 types, sadhana रूपा and sadhya रूपा. Sadhana रूपा, चेष्टा रूपा is done by the body, mind, and speech. Manasa vacha karmana. So it is can be the sadhana रूपा or sadhya रूपा. Okay, that is Anuselanam is telling about the basic sadhana, but that condition for the sadhana is set by what term in that definition of Uttama Bhakti. The condition of the sadhana. Acha, very good. Anya Vilasha Swami is telling about the Acha Anukulyana. Very good. You are also very good. The type of sadhana is refined by what term actually? Are Gnana Karma Janavritam. That sadhana is what? Bhakti. Bhakti should be what? The qualification of bhakti is said in terms of the sadhana by the term what? Gnana Karma Janavritam. The sadhana bhakti should not be covered by Gnana and Karma and so on. So this is the term. This is a very important term. So now you want to categorize sadhus based upon their sadhana. If their sadhana means bhakti is covered by the gnana karma, then they are kanishta. So who can do the uttama bhakti? Madhyama and uttama. Madhyama and uttama are only qualified. That means kanishta is not qualified. Definitely for the uttama bhakti. So then kanishta bhakta based upon sadhana, if you want to say, what you should say from this? If you want to say kanishta bhakta someone based upon the sadhana, then what you should say? His bhakti?
His bhakti is covered by gnana and karma.
Huh?
His bhakti is covered by gnana and karma.
Whose bhakti is covered by the gnana and karma, or mixed. Covered by means mixed by the gnana and karma. Baapre. Whose bhakti is and madhyama and uttama, whose bhakti is not covered by the gnana and karma, because we are considering madhyama and uttama are qualified for doing the uttama bhakti. Ananya bhakti. So in ananya bhakti also, that means what is then how differentiate madhyama and uttama? Okay, both are qualified for the ananya bhakti. Then how to differentiate madhyama and uttama?
Madhyama cannot defeat through logical. According to
what?
Madhyama cannot defeat. He has faith but cannot defeat logically. Whereas uttama can.
Actually, devotees can be categorized based upon shraddha also, based upon the sadhana also, based upon the consciousness also, based upon the worship also. This madhyama, we are not discussing the sadhus based upon shraddha. You are going to the different plane. Okay. So one more, that means sadhus can be categorized based upon shraddha also. There is one more category you can get. So whoever is having the komala shraddha, they are kanishta. Whoever is having the drudha shraddha, so they are madhyama. But whoever is having drudha shraddha and which is supported by the logic and shastra yukta logic, then that is uttama. So sadhus are categorized based upon shraddha also. Komala. Next, Druda. Next, Druda supported by scriptures and logic. Scriptures and logic. But we don't want this. We don't want this kind of categorization. We want this based upon sadhana. That means, yes, whose bhakti is not covered by the gnana and karma and so on, then they are known as ananya bhaktas. That means uttama and madhyama are eligible. So what is the difference between then madhyama and uttama? The difference is madhyama, uttama, they are in the stage of, they are using the bhava to, that means all sadhakas are madhyama, and who reach to the bhava, they are using bhava as the bhava bhakti. Whoever is doing the bhava bhakti, they are considered here bhava as a sadhana they are using. So then they are known as uttama. And who are doing the vaidhi sadhana bhakti, till where it is? Till asakti. Oh, but who reached and doing the devotion through bhava, then they are uttamas. That we are going to discuss. We are going to see in today's class categorization of the devotee sadhus based upon the sadhana. So one is kanishta, second is madhyama, third is uttama. And this summary we are going to achieve from these slokas. So because Uddhava asked, who is sadhu? Then Krishna is telling the sadhu based upon the practice of their practice. Okay, it's clear? So Shraddha is supported by scriptures and logic. Dhrudha Shraddha. Madhyamas, they have full Shraddha, but they cannot give the scriptural references. They cannot explain. What is the Shraddha? Tell me. Determined. Okay. शास्त्रार्थ विश्वास, आप कहाँ जाते हैं? वो भी एक है, ठीक है, लेकिन शास्त्र सिंपल. शास्त्रार्थ विश्वास, belief in the conclusions of the scriptures. माइक ले लो, माइक दीजिए भाई, हर एक बोलना है आपको.
So Kanishta is affected by Jnana and Karma, and Madhyama and Uttama.
Kanishta is not affected. Kanishta's bhakti is covered by.
Kanishta bhakti is Jnana.
Kanishta affected is some terms very vague hai.
So I want to request you to explain Madhyama and Uttama once.
That we will see now today. There is a class.
Once again, I also want to know about the Bhagavat Parshada Deha and Nirduda Kasaya and Murchada Kasaya. What is the meaning? And
Bhagavat Parshada Deha means, so who got the liberated body. That means Parshada Deha. So example, Narada Muni. So they got the Parshad Deha. That means like Narada Muni in the previous life, he was Dasiputra. So at that time, he didn't get the full darshan, full sakshatkar of the Lord. Then after that, he did devotion. So Nyapatat Panchi Bhautikaha Deha, that is the sloka, 6th chapter, 1st canto. So he got the liberated body. That means like Dhruva Maharaj, so he also got the spiritual body. Parshad Deha means getting spiritual body. So Narada got the spiritual body. Then he was, after that, he took birth. He born as a child of, once again, Manasaputra of Brahmaji, because he wants to spread the glories of the bhakti. But Narada Muni is not at all having any Pancha Bhautika Deha. No, it's a spiritual body. So it is like so any Jivatma is liberated.
Parshada Deha means that person, when he is living in the material world, that time itself he getting the spiritual body, or after he living that world, then
it's actually as much as you do bhakti, so Parshad Deha will be developing. when you come to the stage of bhava, so Parshad Deha is in a budding stage. It's like a bud. So when when you reach to the prema stage, then it will bud will become flower. So that's why flower. That means you'll full body will be developed in the prema. So in the bhava stage itself, like you are a dasya bhakta, dasya bhava, sakya bhava, vatsalya bhava, or so madhurya bhava. So whatever the bhava, so that bhava decides your type of spiritual body. So while doing sadhana, your body is gradually transformed into spiritual. So, but when it reached to the bhava, then you'll be getting some proper clear type of the body. That means either dasya body, servant's body, or the friend's body, like gopas. Friends means gopas. So dasya means servants, and next vatsalya, like parents, gopis, and that's mother gopis, mother type gopis. And next madhurya means so young gopis are the manjaris. This. So you will be getting the that kind of body when you do bhajan, continuous ananya bhakti. Here, this is bhava. This is asakti. This is, what is that? Ruchi, nishta, anardha nivritti, and bhajana kriya. And this is sadhu sangha. Here you will get the spiritual body. Budding stage. Then this is prema. Then after that, Bhagavat Prapti. This is Bhagavat Prapti. So clear indications you see spiritual body from the bhava. When you reach to the Bhagavat Prapti, then it is full manifestation. So whoever is getting the full manifested, so Parshad Deha, they are known as Prapta Bhagavat Parshad Deha. Who got? Prapta means God. So got the Parshad Deha or Narada.
Means inside he realized that this is my Swarupa, like that, or this material body is
transformed.
Transformed.
Material body completely transforms, like Dhruva Maharaj. In every case, it will happen. Your body is also started transforming as much as you do sadhana. But we are here, na? Karma Mishra Bhakti. It's not transforming very less. Like if you want to get a bird in a tree, so now it's like a trunk. It's the essence of that means then the trunk, branches, leaves, then that is leading to the bud, and that bud become flower. That is final. Now he's in a trunk stage. Okay. So sadhus who got the liberated, that means Parshad Deha, they are the Prapta Bhagavat Parshad Deha. And Nirduta Kashaya means so who got the, that means who cleaned all the dirt in the heart. Example, Sukadeva Goswami. But they didn't get any Parshad Deha. Sukadeva Goswami, so he is also devotee. When he heard the pastimes from his father's disciples, so he got attraction to the bhakti. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami is also devotee, but he is also free from devotee, but he is free from all the kashayas. But Narada, in the previous life as a Dasi Putra, so he is also devotee. He got the Premankuram, that's why. So he got the darshan of the Lord, but not for the complete. That means prapti he didn't get. Only for a moment he got. And Lord, he said that why? Avipakva kashayanam durdashoham. That means he is saying that since you didn't purify your all the contamination, so you will not be getting my darshan back again in this life. You do sadhana, then you'll. So that's why devotees who has prema but still have the contamination, they are known as murchita kashaya. That means dormant contamination is there. Okay, like this 3 types of the sadhus we discussed. Example, Narada Muni in the previous life. In this life. 2. That is the previous life. Murchita Kashaya. Then after that, end of that life, that means this life. Prapta Bhagavad Parshadeha. This life. Brahmaji's Putra. Brahmaputra. Okay.
Prabhu, right now you explain that if you do your sadhana properly in this life also, your body will transfer. But as we read or hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, that Narad Muni in Murchita Kasaya Deha, he after this body, next birth he will get Bhagavad Parsada Deha. Usually, when one doing his sadhana properly, next life he gets another body, means pure devotee body. But you said right now that the more you in this life only, your body will transfer.
Yeah, it is developing in this bond, in this life only. So Narada initially he is not having the full-fledged Parshad Deha. So he is in the Bhava stage, that is in the budding stage. So but still some contamination is there. Even in the Bhava Bhakti, there is a possibility of having the anarthas, aparadot anartha. So he might be having some anarthas, and that's why he got some material attraction, that is living in a forest such as Satvik Kashai is having. So Narada Muni, now he is not qualified to go back to the Godhead to get the complete. So that's why he did, after from the Bhava stage also he did the sadhana, that means further, that means practicing of bhakti. He developed not sadhana, it's a practicing of the bhakti. So that is in that. So then what will happen? Gradually that body is increasing. So at the end of the life, so he left the material body and he is with full of that Parshad Deha. So that means that in that Parshad Deha, he took birth in the mind of Brahmaji. He appeared in the mind of Brahmaji, and from there he took birth. So then that is Manasaputra. So like this, that means with the same body. That means in the last moment in the previous life, so he left that material body and he is only with the fully spiritual body. And with that body, he took birth from the Brahmaji. Okay. So that's why Narada Muni in the previous life is considered for the Murchita Kashayaha, because he was at that time developing. And after developing, that means he left the material body and he got the spiritual body. With that, so he became as a son of Brahma. So that's why Brahmaji's son, Narada as a Brahmaji's son, is considered as Prapta Bhagavad Parshad Deha. So Narada Muni as a Dasi Putra are considered as Murchita Kashaya. Okay. Anyway, leave that. That's not a big discussion here. So now we have to come to the, based upon the sadhanas, we should differentiate the Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttama. This is the goal actually, our goal. Krupalur akrutadroha titukshu sarvadehinam satyasara anavadyatma samaha sarvopakaraha kamaihi ahatadhihi dantaha mruduhu suchihi akinchanaha anihaha mitabuk shantaha stiraha macharanaha munihi. And also apramattaha gabiratma drutiman jita shadgunaha amani manadaha kalyaha maitraha karunikaha kavihi. These are the different qualities, different. So good qualities are mentioned here. So in this sloka, what is the Visheshana? These are all the qualities. Qualities is there, and there should be a one which possesses those qualities. Visheshyam. Visheshyam is needed, and qualities means Visheshanam. So Karunikaha, Jita, Shadgunaha, all these are all what? Qualities. And what is the Visheshyam here? Huh? Sa, kaha, Macharanaha. Macharanaha means who took shelter in my lotus feet. Who took shelter in my lotus feet. My lotus feet, okay. And he is also what? He is having so many qualifications. What are that? Krupalu. That means he is merciful. Next, Akruta Drohaha, never injuring others. Titikshuhu, forgiving. Sarvadehinam, Satyasaraha. So he is also these qualities. So controlling the senses, controlling the being the patient. All these qualities are out of which guna? Are they out of Sattva guna only, or transcendental? These are all. These qualities are transcendental qualities or the material qualities?
They are all part of Sattva-guna, Prabhuji.
Huh?
They are all part of Sattva-guna.
Sattva guna, na?
Yes, Prabhu.
These are all due to Sattva guna. So these practicing all these good qualities, and also if you see the 32 sloka, what is said? Dharma. So Agnayevam gunan doshan maya dishtana piswakan dharman santyajaya sarvan mam bhajeta sacha utsattamah. Sacha sattamah. अच्छा लिख दो इसको. Dharman santyajya yah sarvan mam bhajeta. In the 32nd sloka, what is said? Agnaya evam gunan doshan maya adishtan swakan dharman santyajya. Here important point. 29, 30, 31 and 32. 4 slokas are there. 4th sloka is telling about leaving of all those qualities and also all the dharmas, all the duties. So that person also Sattamaha is said. Means whoever is explained in the 29:30 is also, that means Devadatta also good person, means Somadatta is also good person. That means 29, 30, 31, whoever is explained, he is also Sattamaha. Okay? But what is the difference between the person explained in the devotee is explained in the 29, 30 and 31 and this devotee and this devotee? What is the difference? This devotee, so who is explained in the 32, he left everything, all those qualities which are he got. So he left everything, and also he left all his duties. And what he is doing? Samam bhajeta. That means he is worshipping. And who is there in this? He is a Macharanaha. That means he is also taking shelter of the Lord, means he is also, huh? He is also devotee. And but he is also practicing. He left, that person left means he is, this person left means this person is following. That means he is following the all the dharmas and also all good qualities. And also he is Macharana, means devotee, is devotee. So that means 29, 30, 31. So who is he? Macharanaha means his devotee. But devotee, he is devotee, but what is this? He's devotee and he's following the karma. He's following all the good qualities. That means gnana. That means, whose bhakti is covered by gnana and karma, then he is what? Kanishta. And he left everything. That means all dharmas and all good qualities he left, and he is so sacha. That means mam bhajeta sacha sattamaha. Mam bhajet. He is just worshipping. Then his bhakti is, not covered by jnana and karma. He left na already. He is Ananya Bhakta. Whatever. But he is Ananya Bhakta. He become Uttam Ananya Bhakta when he reach. But he left means he is definitely Madhyama. Based upon sadhana. But he is Ananya Bhakta. But Madhyama and Uttam. Ananya Bhaktas are two once again. So condition is satisfied or not? If you want to decide anyone as the Uttama Bhakti doing means his sadhana, that means bhakti, should not be covered by jnana and karma. If it is covering, then he is Kanishta. Even in the Shraddha wise also, if whoever is having the Komal Shraddha, he is not qualified to do the Ananya Bhakti. So similarly here also, whoever is the Kanishta Bhakta whose consciousness is not, that means that much, that means he is not able to see the Lord in everywhere. He is, until unless he is not qualified to become Madhyama Bhakta, then he is also not qualified to do Ananya Bhakti. All types of the categorizations should follow the Anyavilasa Shuddhi. Why? Why you are already doing Ananya Bhakti? You don't have another plans, na? You have another plans, another business you are doing. Then you are doing Ananya Bhakti. What? Bank balance zero kar do. Okay. Make bank balance zero. Yes, that is also. You are gathering money for the service, direct service of Krishna is a dharma actually. Is a artha is that is also direct. Okay, no problem. We cannot justify. We should not. It will become offense actually, very serious offense if you see the dosha guna in the devotees and justify he is a Kanishta Bhakta, Madhyama Bhakta, then you will be in the trouble, big trouble actually. You cannot say that. It's not an easy thing actually to guess. Someone may be like you see. So Vritrasura is a demon, but he is pure devotee of the Lord. You cannot. It's not so easy. So who knows about the devotees? Krishna knows, not the devotees. Only devotees knows devotion. Don't judge. That is not your duty. That's Krishna's duty. Okay, that means now you understood. So 29, 30, 31. Learn this simple thing. This is a very useful thing because you have to understand. So if you want to enter into the Ananya Bhakti, so what kind of sadhana you should do? Your sadhana, bhakti should not be covered by karma and gnana. What is karma and gnana? You can see here. So that means sometimes, many times our preaching, so times you'll be saying you should be so humble. These are all qualities you are trying through the mode of goodness. These are all obstacle for the Ananya Bhakti. They are de-emphasizing the Ananya Bhakti because Jiva Goswami is going to write in the next step. So one trying to artificially through the being in the mode of goodness, cultivating this means he is himself drawing him out from the Ananya Bhakti. So one should leave all those and purely dependent on bhakti, and bhakti will bring all the good qualities. And that is the The real Ananya Bhakti, that is a Shraddha actually, that is needed. And nowadays you'll be seeing this lesson, that lesson, and some completely messing the whole philosophy, and preaching is messed up. So trying to cultivate instead of depending on the Ananya Bhakti. So they are on the material platform in the good qualities. So like means becoming a leader, these, that. So qualities, cultivation of these qualities based upon the modes, instead of completely surrendering to the bhakti and depending on that. But if you are trying to cultivate through the qualities, gunas, modes, then that is cultivation of the knowledge. You are in the which kind of sadhana? Your sadhana bhakti is covered by the jnana. Those are all parts of the jnanas. And also dharma, you see in the 32, that means swakan dharman samtajya. That means in the 32 it is said that he is leaving swakan dharman, means previous one is doing, so dharman also, that means it's a karma. These are all gunas, and whatever opposite qualities here, that also he is living. Who? That's madhyama. This. But he is not devotee, na? Macharanaha is not be there. No, you see, when they start from here, na, actually, so they will be practicing karma arpanam with detachment, and then after that they are getting the detachment, and they are getting the, that means yama, niyama, pranayama. After reaching here, they are realizing that just by their practice of the Shabda Brahma, by practicing and deliberating on the Upanishads, they are not able to fix their consciousness on the Brahman. So that's why they feel the need of bhakti. So at that time they do bhakti. Then they are known as, so Gnana Mishra Bhaktas. Otherwise, initially they don't do. But here what? So someone is doing the, so Macharana means he is devotee. That means mainly he is devotee, but doing the karma and gnana also. That means karma gnana Mishra Bhakta. He is not the gnani.
Example of Bharat Maharaj, you see, he went to forest to practice the Ananya Bhakti, but he became attracted by the quality of the Kripalu towards this deer. So that means from the Ananya Bhakti, his bhakti is covered now by the jnana.
Yeah, but that example we take for what he is not deliberately cultivating those qualities. That means with willingly, that is imposed on him because of his previous anarthas, aparadha. So that kind of quality unnecessarily came all of a sudden. Even in the stage of bhava he was. He is not trying, or he is not cultivating. This person is developing actually.
One become attracted.
Forceful. That is forced on them actually. Because of the previous anarthas, it is coming as a result of the previous anarthas. So, but whoever these karma mishra bhaktas are here actually, they are associating, they are macharana means they are devotees, means they got the association of the devotees, but still they are practicing the karma gnana. That means they are karma gnana mishra bhaktas. In 29, 30, 31, they are karma gnana mishra bhaktas. Why they are? That means karma gnana mishra bhaktas means why you are saying he is not qualified for the uttama bhakti, because he doesn't develop the such a shraddha. So that means ananya bhakti can develop whatever I want, can give, so can produce whatever I want, and that's why I have to fully 24 hours should engage myself in practicing the 64 limbs. So such a shraddha he didn't get. So that's why what he is doing, based upon the Bhagavad Gita, whatever the various good qualities are said, so those he is qualifying, is cultivating, so artificially. That means without depending on the bhakti. then that kind of endeavor is breaking the continuity of the bhakti. That's why gnana karmadi avrutam. Bhakti is gnana karmadi avrutam. Getting Sandeep Muni Prabhu? Huh? 29, 30, 31. अरे कहाँ देख रहे? इधर इधर. 32 is Ananya Bhakta. He left all. What? Huh?
Explaining that 27 quality. What is the need?
These all qualities. So, what is the need means what? So, generally they practice these qualities. Whoever is not in Ananya Bhakti, they might be trying these qualities. It's not that by seeing this sloka, you should not say everyone should be these qualities and this. Then
generally that's what we are doing that. By seeing Advesta Sarva Budana Maitra Karuna Vacha.
Those also, Krishna is here, Vijay Goswami is discussing that also. That is stopping the Ananya Bhakti, cultivation of those.
बहुत लोग को मैं stop किया अनन्य भक्ति से. I stopped many people from the Ananya Bhakti.
Oh my God. Okay, because we don't know. So what is the intention of the speaker saying this sloka? So Krishna is the speaker, and what is his intention? So you are seeing everything as a Brahman. Every sloka is one.
No, in fourth canto also there is a sloka Dayaya Sarva Bhudesu Sandushtaya Yena Kenava. So then something then the Janardana Krishna is becoming very happy. So Daya Sarva Bhudesu, that is the main quality there. For
that is what Kanishta Adhikari, who didn't develop the Shraddha, that means he didn't see the Paramatma in every living entity. Those people has to serve the living entities considering they are the Adhisthana of the Lord. That means there, so Bhuta Daya is encouraged for whom? For the Kanishta Adhikari. And
now we don't know who is Kanishta, who is Madhyama, who is Uttama.
But symptoms are said, na? But that sloka is now you see 29, 30, 31. If you, based upon this, if you promote the bhakti explained in the 29, 30, 31, that means you are promoting the karma gnana mishra bhakti. But Krishna's intention is, so he is explaining in the 33 sloka that he wanted. But he is showing all the different stages. But if you promote this, then there is a problem. It is there in the Bhagavatam, so I will promote that also. So presence of the Bhagavatam, presence in the Bhagavatam is not sufficient to say actually. But you should show that is Kanishta, and that is Madhyama, that is Uttama. That is not Uttama Sadhana, that is Kanishta Sadhana. Kanishta Sadhaka. Because his bhakti is covered by the Gnana and Karma. Okay, see the commentary now. Anyway. Mishra Bhakti Sadhakam. Kanishta Sadhakam means, Avara Sadhakam means Mishra Bhakti Sadhakam. That means which is mixed with the Mishra Bhakti means Karma Gnana. Mishra means covered. Gnana Karmadi. That is also there. Bhakti is there, na? Bhakti is there means sadhana is there, but it is mixed with the karma and gnana. Mic ले लो यार, so उन लोग भी है ना, mic ले लो.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You had spoken about the Visheshanam. I mean Vishesham, but you have not yet explained about the Visheshana. What is that actually? Can you please tell?
Visheshanam is Krupalu, Akruta Droha, Titukshuhu. Sarvadehinam satyasaraha anavadyatma samaha sarvapupakaraha kamai ahitadihi dantaha mruduhu suchihi akinchana, all these.
Okay, so Vishesham is only Matcharanaha.
Matcharana, that means devotee.
Okay,
Devotee who is also cultivating all this, doing all this.
Okay, so basically it is talking about the Gnana Karma Avruta Bhakta, of which he, and yet he has taken the shelter of the Lord, so it is Vashisham.
He took the shelter means he didn't have the full Shraddha.
Yeah. Okay.
So that means he is in the stage of Adav.
Okay.
Here. You are seeing now here in the diagram is visible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Okay. So these qualities which is mentioned in these verses 11:29 to 31, they are all Visheshana of that particular Bhakta who is still in the stage of Adav.
Yes.
Okay.
It's clear? We should understand this sloka is telling about what kind of bhakti. करंट नहीं है क्या बिजली प्रभु नहीं है So Madhyama Amishra Sakshat Bhakti. This is Amishra. Sakshat Bhakti Sadhakam. That means in the Madhyama Sadhaka, he is doing it all the time Sakshat Bhakti. That means Ananya Bhakta means always he will be doing the Sakshat Bhakti. Even if he does Karma and Gnana, but only to that Paranishta. That means to set example to others, but his consciousness is always in the either one of the limb of the 64, he will be following. So he can be Nirapekshakaha, he can be the Parinishtitaha. Understanding? This point is clear? Sakshat Bhakti is 24 hours. Not that the 2 hours we did and then after that remaining. No, his consciousness is always touch with the direct devotion.
Whatever the quality is said, that is Ananya Bhakti. Those who are doing that Ananya Bhakti, they are Kanishta or Madhyama. From
Madhyama, na?
From Madhyama it is.
We are already said that it is Madhyama. Madhyama are qualified to do the Ananya Bhakti. Madhyama, according to Shraddha also Madhyama is qualified. According to the sadhana also Madhyama is qualified. According to the consciousness also Madhyama is qualified to do the Ananya Bhakti. So like nowadays, some exalted speakers, they are motivational speakers cultivating the so many good qualities. Leader should be this, peace is this. So those are all coming under this. They are preaching about the Gnana actually, promoting the Gnana along with the Bhakti. This is the Kanishta, Karma Mishra Bhakti is promotion.
Maybe they are not in that stage, but based on that, seeing that people, they want to grown up them.
Yeah.
This also can be happen.
We are not saying they are not pure devotees. We are saying that they are preaching Karma Mishra Bhakti. That's why. It's not wrong. I'm not saying, I'm not judging him. I am telling you about his activity. What he is doing is, that is Karma Mishra Bhakti. And devotees being coming into the Krishna consciousness and artificially trying to become a, that means all these qualities instead of depending on the Bhakti, is not quality of the Ananya Bhakti. Is not the practicing of the Ananya Bhakti. That's the point you should understand. Of course, if you are having interest, you do it, no problem. But you should understand that you are where you are. That you should know. That is the point I am saying. I am not rejecting. If someone is not having the full faith on the bhakti, so let him practice, no problem. Let him practice karma also in the support of the bhakti. We are not saying rejecting, but you should understand that where you are. You should not claim yourself as a pure devotee. That is wrong actually. And you are doing the karma mishra bhakti and identifying yourself as satisfied and this is fine and I can go back to the Godhead. That is wrong. Next, Agnayaiva Nivruttadikarataya Santyajya. Agna Nivruttadikarataya. That means this Karma Gnana Mishra Bhakta, who is known also Kanishta Sadhaka. So this he is living all. That means cultivation of all good qualities and also dharmas. That means Nitya Naimittika Dharman. It is written, you see. So that means how he is living. So heyopadhayatvena, heyopadeyatvena. These are all very cheap. That means cultivation of good qualities is also a cheap thing actually. And following this so-called, that means varna ashrama duties also such a cheap thing. Why I have to do that? That means nischitya. That means he determined like that. Yaha maya teshu guneshu madhye tatra adhisthanapi swakan nitya naimittika dharman naimittika lakshanan sarvaneva varnashrama vihitan tadupalakshanam gnanam api mad ananya bhakti vighatakataya. That means practicing of the varna and ashrama duties is also obstacle for the practicing of ananya bhakti. Practicing of the cultivation of the knowledge is also obstacle for practicing the ananya bhakti. So like that he realized and he left all and fully fixed his faith in the bhakti 100% and doing, and he is ananya bhakta. He will do that. Because you have to see whatever Sanatana Goswami explained as a direct devotion, those are direct devotion only.
Wherever I sit, I just remember on your face. So he left everything, 3 Sandhya, the praying, the demigod, everything.
That depends upon the bhajana. Actually, initially, Vaidhi Sadhaka, he will do that. But when he reaches the Raganuga Bhakti, then he will leave that also. That depends upon the elevation of the devotion. Ananya Bhakti also, there are so much elevation. So many things he keeps on. Vaidhi Bhakti also he will leave. Externally, he may do for the Paranishthita. That means to set other examples. To set examples to others. But he will be, consciousness involvement will be there. That is really bhajan. So we should understand the quality of the bhajan. Yeah, based upon the faith of the people, you can promote the different sadhanas along with the bhakti, like karma and gnana. Sometimes because they didn't develop such a full shraddha in the Lord, then you will promote the varnashram also. Then you will also promote them to do practicing of some gnana angas also. But they should understand that this is not the final goal. This is not the final goal. Okay. And you should not, that means make the people to fall down from their respective duties. Like that example, someone is very qualified to do Ananya Bhakti, and being a leader of the society, you are imposing on him to do the karma, varnashrama dharma. Then it is wrong actually. That means you are disturbing him actually. And someone is not qualified to he is not at all having such a shraddha, and he is artificially leaving all the karma and trying to follow artificially the Ananya Bhakti and not following. Finally, he is not able to follow. And doing this so much mischievous activities because he's not able to engage himself 24 hours in the bhakti. Then that is also wrong actually. There should be a proper, that means scriptural analyzation should be there. Not that is just simply Prabhupada didn't say this, Prabhupada said this. Prabhupada is clearly, very nicely, he is discussing all these factors. But we are not understanding. We are misunderstanding and simply messing up the whole movement. Mission of the Prabhupada is completely messed up. It's a problem actually in the society because of not proper understanding of the his books. So okay, next. So that's why this Madhyama Bhakta is leaving this, even that is that means his respect to dharma and all good qualities, because they are becoming the Vighatakataya. That means they are obstacle for the Ananya Bhakti. That means their bhakti can be covered by this Jnana and Karma, their consciousness, while practicing those. That's why he left. Santyajya Mam Bhajet. That means he worshipped me. Sacha Sattamaha. He is the. So Purvopi Sattama iti Uttarasya Tattad Gunabhavepi Purva Samyam Bodhayati Tataha Yastu Tad Gunan. That means if you see him and he is doing bhakti and also he is doing all good qualities, and he left all good qualities and he is doing only bhakti. So that means all good qualities are not there with him. He left all this, practicing all this, all the karma, duties, everything he left. Sacha Sattva means, of course, he is also Sattama and he is also Sattama, is said. But the intention of living is what? To practice the Ananya Bhakti. Because of faith in the Bhakti, he left this. Then he is Madhyama, his best. But he left all this out of just for the sake of laziness or something. Then he is not Sattama. So rahi. Kya yaar?
All good quality. Can you explain that all good quality means everyone have all good qualities? Even the Shuddha Bhakta, they have all good qualities.
That is different. They got good qualities because of devotion. They have good qualities because of practicing Jnana sadhanas. Understand?
They are sadhu,
They are cultivating. They are
bhusha,
cultivating
yeah.
tapasya. They are cultivating this, that, various activities to get those qualities. So very Ananya Bhakti is a very subtle point. If you don't catch that, and if you don't refine your consciousness, so from the karma and jnana, if you don't eliminate all this from your consciousness, you cannot perform Ananya Bhakti, then you cannot progress also. It's very important. That's why to understand, you are asking why these qualities are said. If you don't know that these qualities are out of the goodness, you think that these are all also out of bhakti, and you will not differentiate what not should be done, what should be done, both should be discussed. Yes or no?
Means they are doing in the mode of goodness.
Out of goodness, they develop that they are cultivating those. That means you want to become a compassionate, so that's why he started giving the donations to these people, that people, and having the charity, giving the charities to the poor people. So such a thing. Compassion, cultivating of compassion, that is.
Giving charity means if they are not giving to devotee or in temple of the Lord, they are giving like people in general. Then
that is the point I am saying. That is a Jnana Mishra Bhakti.
Where is their Krishna is not there, because they are giving the people in general. They are not giving in temple.
Are bhai, Macharanaha means he is practicing devotion. He is chanting, he is reading Mangalarati, and he is doing everything. And also he is, for the people, he is very compassionate, and he is digging the wells in the small villages and poor people. He is making to. That is the meaning of Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti. He is trying good. Okay, you try. You can get easily, no problem. Okay. So Yastu tattad gunan labdva gnana parityagena mam bhajati kevalam satu paramasatva. So next what? Ityuttarasya gunabhavepi पूर्वसाम्यं बोधे ततः यस्तु तत्तद् गुणान् लब्ध्वा धर्म ज्ञान परित्यागेन मां भजति. So but the one who is, that means what is the difference between these two? He is also devotee, but he is doing the only direct devotion. He is doing the devotion plus cultivation of karma and jnana. So that's why he is lesser than this. And now if someone practice the simply bhakti and get all the good qualities, then he is best. Understand? After leaving, he still continue sakshat bhakti, ananya bhakti, he will get good qualities. Then that person is, that means yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana. These qualities are coming. Subhada. All these qualities due to subhada. That means sadhana bhakti is leading to the all auspicious qualities. Subhada. Then that is transcendental. That is best. Yeah. Yeah, that is the faith you should have in the bhakti. Yeah.
So Prabhu, verse 32 is indicating both Madhyama as well as Uttama Bhakta.
Prabhu?
Verse 32 is indicating both Madhyama and Uttama.
Verse 32 is telling about the Madhyama Sadhaka. And we are so deriving, that means further actually from that. So verse 32 is telling about Madhyama only.
Okay, so
he left everything and practicing only bhakti.
So Uttama Bhakta will be told later in the other continuing verses.
One he keep on, that means progressing. Uttama is also having the various levels.
Okay.
So anyway, coming verse is coming. Next verse is coming. Okay, we'll see even more. So that just I am saying, if someone is just here and if not having qualities and doing the Ananya Bhakti, he is not. So really, that means he is Madhyama. If someone is going to develop those qualities through the Bhakti, then he is better than him. Obviously, that's the point. Yes or no?
Prabhu, on this count, I just want to understand one point. Uddhava had asked these questions to Krishna to define about the symptoms by which we can understand these different levels of bhaktas. And Krishna has...
Speak loudly, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Uddhava had asked Krishna regarding the how to find out the sadhu, and then based on that, Krishna had described it so elaborately, talking about the different levels of sadhus. Now, also we understood that for practicing Ananya Bhakti, one must actually associate with the right kind of a sadhu, then only his progress can be marching ahead. For a devotee to understand whether he is in which level of the sadhana or in which level of the Macharana stage for him, for a neophyte or for someone else, how does he actually make it such a judgment? Because
he has to associate sadhus. So that's why he has to study Bhagavatam. He has to study the Bhagavata under the right sadhus, and then he will understand the various qualities explained. He has to study Sandarbhas, because Jiva Goswami compiled all those points in a systematic order in the Bhakti Sandarbha.
So when we say that he has to study or associate with the right kind of sadhus, does he have to experiment it? Okay, this I found him, no, not good. So next I have to do this way. Is that the process? Or and how does
Krishna's mercy also will be there, na Prabhu. So it's we should not take out Krishna. By the mercy of Krishna, we'll get the association also.
Okay.
But we should endure sincerely. If we endure sincerely, then we'll reach to, we'll be sent to that kind of association.
So despite this, wherever he would start, if he depends on Krishna and then proceeds ahead with that kind of an association, then is there a scope for him that he will be put into the right association?
Yes. That's why Prahlad Maharaj, all the Prithu Maharaj, everyone is asking, we want right sadhu sangha. That is desperately they are asking this only. And Krishna is giving that. So that's why everyone should ask, the main foremost thing is good association. That's all. Everything will be taken care by the sadhus. Good association is the highest, that means important thing. Whatever if you are asked, if Lord comes and if you ask, then you should say, I want good association. That's all.
So going back to that point there, when you had expressed a little bit of a concern that in today, though people are taking association and we find a lot of preaching, there is also some kind of a dilution of the whole philosophies of the acharyas, and so many different lessons which are being told only in terms of cultivation on the platform of the modes. So naturally the devotees would be confused at this stage. They would have developed a particular shraddha in a particular person, and but if that person is not according to the way how it should have been, then they would also be in a way cheated from getting the Ananya Bhakti. So how should one protect himself?
So he should help himself and he should help others also. He should just take forward the mission of our acharyas. Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why he came to give the Ananya Bhakti. That is his mission actually. So, and that's, he wants to refine everything from the Srimad Bhagavatam also, the cream. So Srimad Bhagavatam itself is a Nigama Kalpataru or Galitam Phalam. So there also the various kinds of the bhaktis is described. So he defined that, he coined this Ananya Bhakti, and Rupa Goswami established. That's a, for us Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is like a constitution actually, and we should study that again and again, at least 10 times we should study. 10 times to 10 to 20 times, line by line, fully focused. Then we'll get the what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted, will be in the track. And also we should study Bhakti Sandarbha and Prabhupada books. Then you should also study under the Acharya's commentary. If you study the Prabhupada purports, then you will understand what bhava, that means what Srila Prabhupada is explaining in this line. That you will understand. If you simply follow the so-called English and just here and there something Khichdi philosophy you heard, and with that if you see, then you may get the different way of understanding actually. Because Prabhupada took that is the main source, and that's why we want to teach the Prabhupada books under the guidance of the previous Acharya's books.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So next, Paramasatta eva iti व्यक्त्या अनन्य भक्तस्य पूर्वतः आधिक्यं दर्शितम्. So that's why Ananya Bhakta is superior to the previous Bhakta, Karma Gnana Mishra Bhakta. Darshitam Atra Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam Ityadi Sri Bhagavad Gita Dvadashadhyaya Prakaranam api Anusandeyam Sattama Ityanena Tad Avaratrapi Sattaratvam Sattvamatvam api Darshitam Astu. Darshitam. That means even in the same kind of thing you can see in the Bhagavad Gita also. Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. So, yeah, this is a Mishra Bhakti. That's the Avaratvam actually. That kind of Karma Gnana Mishra Bhakti is the Kanishta. It is in the Kanishta. Next. So, you may have doubt now. Ananya Bhaktas are two types. Apiche Suduracharo Bhajate Mananya Bhak. He is also Ananya Bhakta. Yes. And also, that means who got that means proper Vihita Shraddha, Shastra Vihita Shraddha. So he is also doing the Ananya Bhakti. That means who is entering here? This is Ananya Bhakti, na? After Shraddha, this is, from here onwards, you'll be seeing Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti sadhus are two types. One is, which is said by the Apiche Suduracharo, and Dusra, second is, so Shastra Vihita Shraddha. That means who got this Shraddha from the Shastra. Shastra Vihita Shraddha. That means this person, this Madhyama. So, whom we should follow? Whom we can associate? Both are the Ananya Bhaktas. What is the difference between these two Ananya Bhaktas? They have full faith in the Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means full faith. But what is the difference between these two?
One is according to the scriptures, another is Loka Parampara Shastra.
So Abhijay Surachara, he got this Shraddha on the Lord out of the what? Loka Parampara Jata Shraddha. Because of conventional means he got this Shraddha. So that Shraddha is not the natural Shraddha. Just someone is doing, and I am also fully dedicated to the Lord. That's all. My brother is full-time devotee, I am also full-time. That's all. I don't know. My brother is, I like my brother. Whatever reason. That's it. But he didn't study the scriptures and didn't understand the glory of the bhakti. And then after understanding thoroughly the scriptures and glory of the bhakti and leaving all other sadhanas and with full that kind of belief, he is following the bhakti, then he is known as Shastravita Shraddha. That is natural actually. So just someone is doing and I am also doing, that is a forced actually. Oh, my brother is doing, I am also doing. So then in that case, that means whoever is having the Shraddha due to conventional means, so they may not sadachari. Yeah, so they can be durachari because they don't know the right conduct of the from the scriptures. But these people definitely who got the Shraddha from them, they should be so sadacharis only. So that's whom we should follow. Sadachari Ananya Bhakta you should follow. Not the Apijaya Surachari. So Bhakta you should not follow. So tavat sadacharasya tad bhaktasya sattvam ananya devata bhakta matrena durachara. Why there then durachari, but still he is considered, he is doing ananya bhakti and he is said as sadhu? On what figure, on what factor there Krishna is saying that durachari is also as a sadhu? By seeing what? By seeing the?
Because he's not doing anything else. He's
because of his ananya bhakti,
he's following only ananya bhakti.
That's why he is considered as sadhu. But there Krishna is giving the importance to the bhakti. That's why he said he is sadhu. But actually, devotees should associate ananya bhaktas who are sadacharis, not the durachari, suduracharis. Tradrusha sangasya bhaktyunmukhe anupa yuktatva viprayena. So that's why if you associate durachari ananya bhaktas, it's not really so useful. Their duracharata will become difficult for you. That means someone is not following the lifestyle given by the shastras and trying to become an ananya bhakta due to some other reasons. So then they are not recommended actually. That means to get that kind of people's association. We are becoming the part of the sinful activities and also doing the ananya bhakti. So then that kind of people's association is not recommended. Sangena sadhu bhaktanamiti sadhuratra sadacharaha. Sadhu means you should take. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying actually, Athoktam Prahlad, Sangena sadhu bhaktanam. So there Prahlad Maharaj's proof is there. Sadhu means what? You should be sadachari also. Ananya bhakta plus sadachari. But Krishna said he is a sadhu just because of just promoting the ananya bhakti. That's why he said. But he is saying in the next sloka, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvas shantyam nigacchati. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. You should become dharmatma. He will become ananya bhakta durachari by the association of the good sadhus, sadachari sadhus, and understanding the conclusions of the shastra in right way, so that he will also understand duracharata is not right to follow and which is not prescribed by the shastras, and that's why he will leave that. Yes. So, okay, all these purports you can read. That means all the qualities are explained. Nanta, Manta, Surajita. This you can please read. We'll go to the next sloka. So, Gnatva Gnatva Thami Gnatva Gnatva Ta Yevai Mam Yavan Yaschasmi Yadrishaha Bhajantananya Bhavena Te Me Bhaktatama Mataha. Mike किसके पास है? Sam बोल लो.
My devotees may or may not know exactly what I am, who I am, and who I exist, how I exist. But if they worship me with unalloyed love, then I consider them to be the best of devotees.
Yes. Now this is the who reached the bhava. So they are the Ananya Bhakta only, but they are doing worship through the bhava. So here Srila Jiva Goswami is writing, Tadevam Ishvara Buddhya Vidimarga Bhaktayoho Taratamyam Uktam. Vidimarga Bhakti. So this is Ananya Bhakti. In this also two types. That means who are doing the bhakti through the body, mind, and sense, speech. Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. Who are doing the bhakti through the bhava. Cheshta Rupa, Bhava Rupa. Bhakti is how many types? Two types based upon the Anusilanam. Bhakti is how many types? Tirumala. What are those? Cheshta Rupa and Bhava Rupa. Cheshta Rupa Bhakti. Anyway, that is an two types we don't need. So Cheshta Rupa Bhakti means doing bhakti through the body, mind, and speech. Manasavaja. And Bhava Rupa Bhakti means doing bhakti through the bhava. So you may think that, so Cheshta Rupa Bhakti mein, so in that bhakti, so one is doing through the mind. Anything done by the mind is not the Bhava Bhakti. You may think that remembering Krishna is also Bhava Bhakti. No. What is the difference between the Bhava Bhakti and remembering Krishna? Many times people get confusion actually. If you do bhakti through the mind, then that is known as Bhava Bhakti, they think, but it's not Bhava Bhakti, it is also Sadhana Bhakti only. So what is the difference between the Bhava Bhakti and that Sadhana Bhakti which is done by the mind? What is the difference? Bro.
See, in Cheshta Rupa Bhakti, when one engages in the service of Krishna with the mind, senses, and Kaya Vacha Manasa, the things. So there is some external force he applied. But in Bhava Rupa, there also he is also in the mind only, but that is spontaneous. It happened.
Spontaneous devotion even sadhaka can do after anardhani vritti. So spontaneous is different actually. Spontaneous means ragatmika bhakti, raganuga bhakti. What I am asking, what is the difference between bhava bhakti and so doing the sadhana bhakti, so through the mind?
Is in a component of mind.
What I am saying, उसको छोड़ो अभी जरूरत नहीं होगी. So Anusilanam, Krishna Anusilanam. Anusilanam means, so it is two types, Cheshta Rupa, Bhava Rupa. And Cheshta Rupa means it is done by the body, mind, and speech. And this is done by the Bhava. So what I am asking, this Cheshta Rupa Bhakti, so which is done by the mind. Cheshta Rupa Bhakti done by the mind. This point I am taking. What is this and doing Bhava Bhakti? What is the difference between these two?
In Chester Bhakti, mind is there, but other component, other elements also there. But in the Bhava, only the
Vaisani.
Huh?
So doing the Cheshta Rupa Bhakti, so through the mind means, example is what? Remembering Krishna's pastime. So Krishna went to, that means in the Putana Leela, so Putana went to the Krishna's house, and that, so Yasoda Maya Rohini, they were sitting, and so you're remembering this Leela through the mind. This is what? This is Sadhana Bhakti. Cheshta Rupa Sadhana Bhakti. Then what is the Bhava Rupa Bhakti? So when you awarded Dasyam, either the Sakyam, any relationship is revealed to you. So in that relationship, if you do, that is Bhava. That should be given. Bhava should be given. The Bhava is awarded in 3 ways. By the sadhana it will come, by the mercy of the Lord, and by the mercy of the devotees. So that means when the Bhava is awarded, then you will be in the budding stage of your spiritual body. So that means Dasyam, Sakyam, Vatsalyam. And next is what? So Madhurya. Read every day Bhakti Rasam Sindhu. Don't forget Bhakti Rasam Sindhu too. In the only Bhakti Shastri, if you read and leave it, then it will go. And it's your main book, that is the target for us, everyone. What you are asking? Mic ले लो. मैं सुन रहा हूँ, वो लोग नहीं सुन रहे क्या? How they will feel actually on the class? Only one answer they are hearing and not hearing the questions. It will irritate them actually.
There is 2 type of bhakti, which is Anusilanam, Chesta Rupa, and Bhava Rupa. So Chesta Rupa is who done by speech, mind, and body, and Bhava Rupa is relationship, right? Like Dasya.
When you are awarded with the relationship, with that relationship is done.
Like Dasya, Sakhya, Madhurya.
So these 2 are the benchmarks actually to say. So that means these 2 comes under the Ananya Bhakti or not? Cheshta Rupa and also Bhava Rupa. Both comes under the Ananya Bhakti only. Because Anukulya, that means Anyabhilasha Sunyam Gnana Karma Dhyanu Avrutam, Anukulya and Krishna Anusilam is satisfied in the case of Sadhana also, Cheshta also, in the case of Bhava also. Yes or no? So that's why Sadhana Bhakti means it's a purely Sadhana. That's the 64. No mixing. So if you are not doing 24 hours that, then you are not a pure devotion. You are doing karma and offering, then it is karma arpadam. You are mixed. Gnana karma janavratam is not happening. So that's why now Krishna is saying, what he is saying in this sloka, Gnatva agnatva taye vaimam yavan yaschasmi yadrushaha bhajanti ananya bhavena. Here ananya bhava means what you should take? Dasyam, Sakyam, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So Jiva Goswami is writing here. What is saying? Tasya namaskaranam chaiva vaishnavatva yuhochate ityatra atha Shuddha. That means purely. So purely. So that means it's not mixed with the, here you may type, before awarding the Bhava Bhakti, you will be having the different. Sometimes mentally you may think you have so many other ways. But in the Bhava, you will fix it actually. Sthai Bhava, that is stable. It's not this changing in the Bhava stage. So then you will be doing that Suddha Bhava. That means Shuddha Dasya Sakya Adi. Adi means Vatsalya and Madhurya Bhava Matrena. Yo Ananyaha Satu Sarvottamaha. So that's why, according to now Krishna, whoever is doing bhakti through the Bhava, so they are Uttama. They are better than these 32. They entered into Ananya Bhakti, but they reached the bhava. They are said in the 33rd sloka. In 33rd sloka, who are said? Who reached the bhava. ज्ञात्वा अज्ञात्वा ज्ञात्वा इति ज्ञात्वा अज्ञात्वा वा ये केवलम अनन्य भावेन श्री व्रजराज नंदनत्वाद्यालंबनः यः स्वाभिप्सितः दास्यादीनाम् एकतरः भावः तेनैव भजन्ति न कदाचित् अन्येन. All the time only one, not with other. So gnatva agnatva, that means by knowing or unknowingly, somehow or other, that means knowing or unknowingly. That means sadhus may give the kripa to the bhaktas also. Bhava bhakti can be awarded also. Bhava bhakti can be achieved by the sadhana also. Bhava bhakti can be given by the Lord also. These three ways. So that means somehow some bhakta gave the kripa. Like example, Prahlad Maharaj did the sadhana and he reached the bhava? No. He reached the bhava by the Narada Muni's merits. Is example for the. So who got bhava through the Prahlad? But Narada Muni practiced in the Bhakti Vedantis. All the stages he crossed. That means Anardhani Vritti and so and so. Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti. So, but Narada Muni is a sadhaka. But Prahlad Maharaj got bhava directly. So by the mercy of the Lord. Mercy of the, Narada Muni. Prahlad Maharaj got. So that's a gnatva, agnatva. So knowingly or unknowingly, if they, Prahlad Maharaj in the Dasya. So if they get that bhava and doing with that all the time and not taking up any other thing. And also Ananya Bhaktas, no karma jnana avrutam, no. That is already primary condition. So then that bhakta is tetu me maya bhakta tamaha mataha sadhu. So Uddhav, who is sadhu? He is sadhu. Vrajavasis, whoever is following the Vrajavasis. Dasya Sakya Vatsalya. That is the opinion of Krishna actually. He will say that only, na, obviously. Whom will say then? Kevalam sadhuhu tava ityadyanusarane te me bhaktatamaha mataha ityantimasyaiva. So swamatasyatishaya darshitaha. So that means by saying bhaktatamaha, now clearly, of course, he mentioned the karma jnana mishra bhaktas and so ananya bhakta in the beginning stage, and finally he said ananya bhakta in the bhava stage, and his opinion is, my opinion is last. Atayeva yogaishwaryairapi chaturde pradhitam. Yogeshwarairapi. Yogeshwaras means in the fourth chapter. In the fourth chapter, na, Yogeshwaras, Navayogis, they also requested for this bhakti. Yogeshwaraihi. I think preyan te anya ityadina gnatva gnatva ityadi ityatra agnana gnanayohu heyopadheyatvam nishiddham bhakti. That means gnatva agnatva, here the word is saying knowingly or unknowingly, means it is saying that so for this kind of bhava bhaktas, gnana is not a upadhi actually. So even a innocent person also, by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of the devotees or by mercy of the Lord, he can become bhava bhakti. He doesn't need to become a qualified person of So scriptures, that means he studied very nice scriptures and he's well educated, then only he can become Bhava Bhakti. It's like that? No. Even a small villager, he came in association of Bhava Bhakta, pure devotee, and he gave Krupa. So that's a Gnatva Agnatva is eliminating the pre-qualification of any studying the scriptures. Okay, that is the important point you should understand here. So next word, Gnatva Gnanayoho Heyo Pai Nishiddham Bhaktatama Ityata Purvavakyasya what is that? Satpadana Yeshmatikrami Visheshda Bhakta Nirdeshat Bhakte Swarupadikyamatrev Vivakshitam. Okay, we'll keep here. We'll go. I'm feeling weak. Complete the chapter, guys. Huh? Huh? Mataji?
Not yet recovered. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is it audible?
Yes, Mataji. Clearly audible. Okay. Or today Friday, huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Huh? Self-study. Next chapter will study. Actually, I think 38 till 38 nothing is there. Hai na? Shambalam Prabhu. No commentary. Vishwanath is not there. Na? Sorry. Acha, Mallinga Madbhakta Jana iti Shashti Lukcha. It's grammatical, nothing. Okay, then 34 to 41 will read. So commentary is not there. So just we'll finish this. Huh? Yeah. All together. Mallinga Madbhakta Janar Mallinga Madbhakta Jana Darshana Sparshanarchanam Paricharya Stuti Prahva Guna Karmanu Kirtanam Matkata Shravane Shraddha Madanudhyana Muddhava Sarvalabhupaharanam Dasyenatma Nivedanam Majjanma Karma Kathanam Mama Purvanumodanam गीतताण्डववादित्रा गोष्ठिभिर्मद्गुहो गृहोत्सवः यात्रा बलिविधानं च सर्ववार्षिकपर्वसु वैदिकी तान्त्रिकी दीक्षा मदीया व्रतधारणं ममार्चस्थापने श्रद्धा स्वतः संहत्य चोद्यमः उद्यानोपवना क्रीडा पुरमन्दिरकर्मणि सम्मार्जनोपलोपाभ्यां सेवकमण्डलवर्तनै गृहशिशूणां मह्यं दासवद्यदमायया अमानित्वमदम्बित्वं कृतस्य परिकीर्तनम् अपि दीपावलोकं मे नोपयुञ्जान्न निवेदनित्यम् यद्यदिष्टितमं लोके यच्चाति प्रियमात्मनः तत्तन्निवेदयन्मह्यं तदानन्त्याय कल्पते. Translation.
Dear Uddhava, one can give up false pride and prestige by engaging in the following devotional activities. One may purify oneself by seeing, touching, worshipping, serving, and offering prayers of glorification and obeisances to my form as a deity and to my pure devotees. One should also glorify my transcendental qualities and activities here with love and faith, the narration of my glories, and constantly meditate on me. One should offer me whatever one acquires and accepting oneself as my eternal servant. One should give oneself completely to me. One should always discuss my birth and activities and enjoy life by participating in festival such as Janmashtami, which glorify my pastimes. In my temple, one should also participate in festival and ceremonies by singing, dancing, playing musical instrument, and discussing me with other Vaishnavas. One should observe all regularly celebrated annual festival by attending ceremonies, pilgrimage, and making offering. One should also observe religious vows such as Ekadashi and take initiation by procedures mentioned in the Vedas, Pancharatra, and other similar literatures. One should faithfully and lovingly support the instruction of my deity, and individually or in cooperation with others, one should work for the construction of Krishna conscious temple and cities as well as flower gardens, fruits gardens, and special areas to celebrate my pastime. One should consider my oneself to be my humble servant without duplicity, and thus should help to clean the temple, which is my home. First, one should sweep and dust thoroughly, and then one should further cleanse with the water and cow dung. Having dried the temple, one should sprinkle scented water and decorate the temple with mandalas. One should thus act just like my servant. A devotee should never advertise his devotional services, activities. Therefore, his service will not be the cause of false pride. One should never use lamps that are offered to me for other purposes simply because there is need of illumination. And similarly, one should never offer to me anything that has been offered to or used by others. Whatever is most desired by one within this material world, whatever is most dear to oneself, one should offer that very things to me. Such an offering qualifies one for eternal lives.
Yes, bro. Thank you. So actually, various direct devotional activities are mentioned here. All these should be done without any amanitvam. That is the main point. So without any kind of false prestige. That means I am doing the smitya swabha swabhaktyakhyana swabhaktya akyapana rahityam. That means you should not show this. That means I am doing my this. That feeling should be out without the false prestige you should do. So amanitva adambitvam. That is not the jnanis amanitva adambitvam. This is the devotional. It means not having any prestige towards his devotional activities, not showing any prestige or his yeah. Otherwise, all is direct. So devotional activities various. So these are all written translated based upon Vishwanath's commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary. Okay, we'll go to next sloka. That means after explaining Ananya Bhakti, direct devotional activities are said. That's all. Those. Yeah, different. Like in the Bhakti Rasam Sindhu, 64 are there. Like that is. Suryogni Brahmana Gavo Vaishnava Kammarujjalam Bhuratma Sarva Bhutani Bhadra Puja Padani Me.
O saintly Uddhava, please know that you may worship me in the sun, fire, brahmanas, cows, Vaishnavas, sky, wind, water, earth, individual soul, and all living entities.
Okay. So Sarva Suryo Agni Brahmana Gavo Vaishnava Kam Marujalam Bhur Atma Sarva Bhutani Bhadra Puja Padani. That means they are the places where to worship the Lord. Tatra Nityameva संबध्यमाना ये सूर्यादयः तेपि बहिर्दृष्ट्या न संबद्धाः किन्तु मद अधिष्ठान दृष्ट्यैव इत्युपदिशन् तत्र तत्र योग्यानुपासना विशेषान् अपि so योग्य अनुपासना विशेषान् अपि उपदिशति योग्य anupasana visheshan. So that means how to maintain ananya bhakti. Even certain times you may come across this kind of things. That means being a leader of the society, you have to follow some festival which is worshipping of the sun. Then how to maintain the ananya bhakti? You will be seeing the that place has the adhisthana of the Lord. Like example is who did like that devotees, who's Yudhishthira Maharaj and Bharat Maharaj also. Whenever they performed the yajna, so being a king, they has to perform the yajnas. So then they saw that all the demigods has the limbs of the Lord, or otherwise adhisthana of the Lord. So that ananya bhakti is not broken. Their pure devotion is not broken. They are directly worshipping the Lord only. So that kind of places is explained here. How to see those? So as the sitting places of the Lord. That much this is. Okay. Next. सूर्ये तु विद्यया त्रय्या हविषाग्नौ यजेतमाम् आतिथ्येन तु विप्राग्र्ये गोष्वङ्गयवसादिना वैष्णवे बन्धसत्कृत्या हृदिके ध्याननिष्ठया वायौ मुख्यधिया तो ये द्रव्यैस्तोय पुरःसरैः स्तण्डिले मन्त्रहृदयैर्भोगैरात्मानमात्मनि क्षेत्रं सर्वभूतेषु समत्वेन यजेतमं क्षेत्रज्ञं सर्वभूतेषु.
My dear Uddhava, one should worship me within the sun by chanting selected Vedic mantras and by performing worship and offering obeisances. One may worship me within fire by offering oblation of ghee, and one may worship me among the Brahmanas by respectfully receiving them as guests. Even when uninvited, I can be worshipped within the cows by offering of grass and other suitable grains and paraphernalia for the pleasure and health of the cows. And one may worship me within the Vaishnavas by offering loving friendship to them and honoring them in all respects. Through steady meditation, I am worshipped within the inner space of the heart, and within the ear, I can be worshipped by knowledge that prana, the life air, is the chief among elements. I am worshipped within water by offering of water itself, along with the other elements such as flower and tulsi leaves. And one may worship me within the earth by proper application of confidential seeds, mantras. One may worship me within the individual living entities by offering food and other enjoyable substances. And one may worship me within all living entities by seeing the super soul within all of them, thus maintaining equal vision.
Yeah, it's explanation. Significantly, the purport emphasizes in these three verses that one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is expanded within all living beings. It is not recommended that one accept any material or spiritual object other than the Lord as supreme. By maintaining steady consciousness of the Lord in his all pervading feature, one can remain in worshipful mood 24 hours a day. This is the point. How to become Ananya Bhakta? That means 24 hours you should worship the Lord. So even if you come across with the various other objects, so how to maintain Ananya Bhakti is explained. You have to see everything as Adhisthana of the Lord. So thus one will naturally try to engage all material and spiritual elements in the loving service of the Lord. If because of ignorance one forgets the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one may become inclined to worship powerful material. If you see the just material feature, sun, if you see as a sun as a upadhi, he is a person who is giving the health and he is giving the light, then if you worship sun as a like that, then that is not Ananya Bhakti. That means Anya Abhilasha Sunyam, Gnana Karma Janavruti will not come actually. Krishnanusilna will not come. Devatanusilna will come. So then it is not Uttama. So Ananya Bhakti is out. So that's how to maintain Ananya Bhakti even if you come across with the various material and spiritual objects. So that is mentioned in these three slokas and explained. So next to 46. Dishneshvityeshu madrupam shankachakra gadambujai yuktam chaturbujam shantam dhyayan archet samahitah.
Thus, in the previous mentioned places of worship and according to the processes I have described, one should meditate on my peaceful transcendental form with four arms holding a conch shell, Sudarshan discs, clubs, and lotus flower. In this, one should worship me with fixed attention.
Yeah. So that means one should be always in the Krishna consciousness. So that is the point he mentioned here. So how to be always in Krishna consciousness? 1 second. And form of the Lord is mentioned here. Acha. "46 is having a lot of commentary. Eh? What is this? So Dishnya iti atra sarvatra chaturbhujasyeva anusandhane satyapi dvidha gatihi ekadhisthana paricharyaihi परिचर्यया एव अधिष्ठातुः उपासना लक्षणा मंदिरलेपनादिना मदधिष्ठातृप्रतिष्ठया इव यथा वैष्णव बंधु सत्कृत्या घोष ईश्वरे तु प्रभुभाव उपदिश्यते ईश्वरे no, it is from 46. Okay, I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow means Monday. Just 3 slokas, 46, 47, 48. Take any essential point. I will just sit peacefully and do that. Anyway, 3 o'clock. I'll do 46, 249 on Monday. And after that, I'll start the new chapter. Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhupada ki jai.